You can fall 57 meters into violent, freezing water and still live. That sounds impossible, but it's happened more than once. And the real reason why might disturb you. Millions stand at the edge of Niagara Falls every year, staring into something that looks almost peaceful from a distance. A postcard view, a romantic backdrop. But that calm is a lie. Beneath it is chaos, power, and a question most people never dare to ask. What actually happens if you go over? Most people assume it's instant death. No debate, no survival, just impact and darkness. But here's the strange part. That assumption is wrong. There are 3 waterfalls that make up Niagara Falls. But one dominates them all, the Canadian Horseshoe Falls. It's massive, about 57 meters high, nearly 670 meters wide. And every second, millions of liters of water crash over its edge at speeds that feel almost unreal. Now imagine this. You're caught in that current, pulled forward, faster, louder, the edge getting closer. There's no stopping it. So what do? Panic feels natural, but panic is what kills you. Because the truth is, survival doesn't start at the bottom. It starts seconds before you fall. And that's where things begin to get weird. Because against all logic, people have survived going over Niagara Falls. Not many, but enough to prove something shocking. This isn't always a death sentence. The first recorded survivor, a 63-year-old schoolteacher. In 1921, she climbed into a wooden barrel reinforced with iron, sealed herself inside, and went over the edge. Why? Fame, money, a desperate gamble. And somehow she lived. But that's not even the craziest part. She barely profited. The fame faded. The money never came. And yet, others saw her survival not as a warning, but as an invitation. Years later, tried his luck. Different approach. A rubber and steel sphere lined with inner tubes. Like a human pinball, he dropped into the falls and walked away. So now the question changes. It's no longer, is survival possible? It's, why does anyone survive at all? Because for every success story, there are others. Many others. And they didn't make it. Out of 16 daredevils who tried to conquer the falls, nearly half never came back. Which means survival isn't skill. It isn't strength. So what is it? Luck? Timing? Physics? Or something far more unpredictable? And this is where it gets unsettling. Because the most unbelievable survival story didn't involve a stunt at all. No preparation. No plan. Just a child. In 1960, a 7-year-old boy named was swept into the Niagara River after a boating accident. No barrel. No protection. Just a life jacket and the current. He was dragged toward the falls. Pulled faster and faster. And then, he disappeared over the edge. Everyone assumed the same thing you're thinking right now. There's no way he survives that. But minutes later, something impossible happened. He was found alive. Floating. Bruised. Disoriented. But alive. They called it the miracle at Niagara. But here's the twist. Rescue experts don't call it a miracle. They call it blind luck. Because beneath the falls is something most people never consider. A violent, churning basin of water and air called the hydraulic. It can trap you, spin you, drag you under repeatedly. Or, if conditions are just right, it can spit you back out. So now the question changes again. If survival is possible, what actually determines who lives and who doesn't? Because the answer isn't comforting. And it's not what you expect. Because surviving Niagara Falls isn't about avoiding the fall. It's about surviving what happens after. The moment you go over, everything changes. The noise becomes deafening. The air disappears. And your body is no longer in control. So what gives you even a chance? First, air. Right before you drop, one deep breath could mean everything. Because once you hit the water, oxygen becomes your most limited resource. The currents will drag you under. Again and again. But here's the strange part. Water doesn't just drown you. It crushes you. The force from above creates intense pressure, making it harder to move, harder to think, harder to escape. So positioning matters. Feet first. Legs tight. Muscles tense. Arms protecting your head. Why? Because impact isn't just about hitting water. At that speed, water feels almost solid. And that's when things get even worse. If you survive the impact, you're not safe. The water below is near freezing. Your body starts shutting down almost immediately. Hypothermia creeps in fast. You have maybe 15 minutes before your strength fades completely. So now the fight changes again. It's no longer about surviving the fall. It's about escaping before the water takes you. And almost no one is ready for that part. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Surviving Niagara Falls doesn't mean you beat it. It means it let you go. Every second you're in that water, you're at the mercy of forces you can't control. The currents decide where you go. The pressure decides how long you last. And the cold decides when your body gives up. So why do some people live? Not because they're stronger, not because they're smarter, but because, for a brief moment, everything aligned just right. The current carried them instead of trapping them. The impact didn't break them. The cold didn't claim them fast enough. And they got out. But here's the unsettling part. Every survivor creates a dangerous illusion. That maybe, just maybe, it's survivable. And that's what draws the next person closer. Past the warning signs. Over the rails. Into the current. Chasing something they think they can control. But they can't. Because Niagara Falls doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how prepared you think you are. And it doesn't give second chances. So the real question is,